hear you tapping.
I hear you tapping. That was so loud.
Was it really?
It really sounded like you were like punching it or something.
Oh, God.
Or like whack-a-mole. Like bong, bong, bong. That was funny.
We should have him leave this in because this is what we do.
This is what we do.
Part of our whole thing.
Yeah.
So, and welcome to the Badass Breastfeeding Podcast. I am Dianne, your lactation consultant and mother of 3. I have Nathan, who is almost 26, and Jess and Brandon, who are going to be 24 in November, which will be here before we know it. Mm-hmm. And I'm a maternal child health specialist as well, and a lactation consultant. And that is me.
And I'm Abby, the Badass Breastfeeder. And I have Jack and Exley. Jack is going to be 15 in a couple weeks. Oh. And Jack just turned 12. And I have a social work background. And I don't know. That's all about me. I'm very distracted right now. And I didn't want to say this before we went on because I thought it would be funny to just say it on air here. But I had a dream about this episode last night.
You did?
Well, it was like this morning. You know how you wake up like before you need to wake up and then you fall back asleep and then it's just like random vivid dream time?
Yes.
Okay. So you and I, first of all, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about how we were recording this today and like, you know, I don't know. For some reason I got on your kids. And I was like, Jess and Brandon and
Nathan.
Oh my God. No. Well, this is what I'm doing in the night.
Oh, okay.
Jess and Brandon and oh my God. What's the other one's name? And then I was just like, it was over. I was like, I can't believe I can't remember his name. I'm like, I was just like, then I had to remember it. And it's the middle of the night. Oh like God. I need to be sleeping, but instead I'm like half awake. So of course I don't remember anything. And I'm just like irrationally obsessing about this. So then I never remembered. Of course I woke up and was like, Nathan, you idiot. And then so after having thought about that for a while, for like a long time, I fall asleep and I have a dream about us recording this. So you and me and Tom met up somewhere. I don't know where. And we were going to record, we're going to record this episode. And we're like in a parking lot or something. And it turns out that you had this giant party in Rochester with like, for like the 500 episode thing. I didn't know about it. You just had this big party. It was like huge, like thousands of people were there. And there were like you had custom Pepsi cans made. And on the edge of the Pepsi can is like just random facts. Like, I don't know, like Jack and Exley are Abby's kids and Dianne lives in Rochester and whatever, all this stupid stuff. It was just like a custom Coke can. Okay. And then it's like, we're going to get ready to record. And Tom's trying to do something like fancy or something with the camera or something. And like so this like what I thought was like a helicopter comes like flying by and then completely out of control. It's about to crash into all of us. Turns out it's not a helicopter. It's your guys' car, which I don't know what it looks like. It was just in my dream. That's what it was. It comes crashing down onto a bus. As soon as it lands onto the bus, it's like pop and pops out this briefcase, goes shooting up into the air because of the force. I never find out what's in the briefcase. I don't know. The secret to our success or something, but there's nothing. I don't know. And then that drama is over and we're going to record and like the microphone is like, I don't know. I'm being like extra controlling about it and you guys are getting annoyed. And like the microphone kept being in like not there and in different places. And then my grandma was there and then I don't know. We ended up with like hours and hours and hours of stuff. And I'm like, man, have fun with that, Tom. It's going to be a lot.
Oh my God.
It was, yeah, that's weird. But it was like, it just happened. Like I just woke up not that long ago. So like, that's what's in my mind. I can't
My
get back
God.
to reality. I'm just in this like weird ass dream.
So I will say to you what my father used to say to me when I would tell him about my dreams when I woke up in the morning. He used to say, "What did you eat last night before you went to bed?"
What did I eat?
I used to have the weirdest dreams. I mean, I still do. I still have very vivid, weird dreams. And he used to always say that to me. What did you eat before you went to bed? And I was like, what does that have to do with it? I don't know if it really does
I had
or
chicken
not.
and couscous for dinner, but then I didn't have anything else to eat until I went to sleep. Maybe there wasn't enough food in my stomach.
Maybe not. I don't know.
But that would be really unusual. But
that is wild.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me. And, we don't have to say who this episode is. Well, we do have to say. So this episode today is our special, very special 500th episode. And it's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And our sponsors today are actually a giant giveaway package of the most awesome kind. So first of all, we have... Okay, I didn't have it pulled up like I should have. So now I'm like talking really slow because we have, first of all, from Original Sprout, we have the Scrumptious Baby Cream and the Hair and Body Baby Wash.
Nice.
Nursing Queen, $100 gift card.
Love it. I want that.
I know. Cake Maternity. If you remember I contacted all of our favorite sponsors and asked them if they wanted to do our 500th episode with us. And they were all like, absolutely. Cake Maternity, they make those beautiful pregnancy, nursing, breastfeeding, pumping bras. $100 gift card. Similarly is going to give you a whole S7 pump with collection cups. They have new collection cups like the passive breast milk cup things.
Oh, cool.
And then we also have my personal Leela Baby toddler carrier that I used with my kids that I still have that I absolutely do not need. So, and it's Tokidoki. I don't know if you know what the Tokidoki pattern is, everybody, but it's a Japanese artist and it's kind of cartoony. It's very colorful. It is so cool.
That's hard to get rid of. Stuff like that. It's hard to.
I know.
I know.
I actually do have Jack's ring sling that I basically wore Jack in for his whole entire babyhood, and I will not be giving that away.
Yeah, that's hard to.
Actually, I have to do it again because it fell apart. But I took a wire hanger and made it straight and then shaped it into a heart, and then I wrapped the ring sling around it.
Oh,
like all around it, so it was like the ring sling in the shape of a heart, and then I hung it on the wall.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I should do like a video about that or something because it's such a cool, like you don't want to give it away, but then it's just sitting there and this is a way to display it. And then I embroidered this badass breastfeeder embroidery because I like to embroider, and it's boobs and it says badass breastfeeder. And I've always wanted to give it away in a giveaway, but just haven't. So here, we're doing it here. Package of our Thank You for Nursing in Public cards, podcast stickers, and some badass merch, which we didn't even really decide on. A shirt and a water bottle.
Yeah,
a shirt and a water bottle.
Yeah,
and I have the link, so whoever wins can just pick what they want. So this giveaway, you're listening here. How do you enter? You're going to go to Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or all three, because you can enter all over the place. And just comment. There'll be instructions there. Comment that your comment is your entry. And then I'm going to add them all up, starting with Facebook because it's first in the alphabet, and then Instagram, and then TikTok. I'm going to add up all the entries. And then I'm going to go to one of my kids and I'm going to say, pick a number between 1 and whatever. And that'll be the winner. So commenting on all of you can comment. You can enter on all 3 platforms if you have access to all 3 platforms. But that's our giveaway. And I feel like that's pretty epic.
Mm-hmm. That's a good giveaway. You're getting a lot of good things.
Yes. It's cool.
Yeah.
And I suppose we should move on from that. And we can do our normal, like, join us on Patreon. We're over there. We have our private judgment-free community. You can check the top link under the show notes, wherever you're listening from, and pick a tier that looks good to you. You can also get one of those goodie bags with the Nursing in Public cards and the podcast stickers by leaving a review somewhere or sharing the podcast on your social media. We're just trying to get the word out there. And we will thank you for helping us with one of these goodie bags. You can send that screenshot over to badassbreastfeedingpodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you have a breastfeeding photo, I do notice in the email that there's a few people who have sent breastfeeding photos. So I'm very excited to get into those emails today. And you can send the email or the photo over to the email as well. And we'll send you a goodie bag for the photo too. And our special episode today is kind of all over the place. We're just going to be doing lots of really fun things and talking about the podcast and fun things that have gone on.
It's been a long time, everybody.
It has.
Long time coming. We've gone through a lot of things in the last 9 years. So
we started this podcast in August 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That's right.
And it was after Dianne asked me if I wanted to start a podcast, and I said no. I will tell you, I said no several times. And Dianne was not taking no for an answer.
So this came about because my husband at one point was like, you should start a podcast. I've got all the stuff and I could do the background of it because I've got everything that you would need. But you start and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not starting a podcast and talking to myself. Like, that is ridiculous. And it's a lot of work to have one of those podcasts where you're getting guests every single week and all that stuff. Like, I was like, I don't want to do that. And he was like, all right. And then he would say, like, another way, you start a podcast. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then I met Abby at a conference and I was like, we should start a podcast. Like, I emailed her later.
Yes.
And said that to her. Yeah. After you got the email. So then she said no.
And I was like, I just can't, I don't have time for that. I was like in a place because I'd been doing the Badass Breastfeeder social media since 2012. And that was insane. It was insane. Like, that was back when there was like absolutely no really rhyme or reason to, like, not that there's rhyme or reason to social media now, but it was like newer and it was really just like the wild, wild west. Whatever you put out there had the potential to just go absolutely viral. And it was just internet chaos. And I was doing the mommy cons and I was really looking for a way to, like, step back, just kind of like go in the opposite direction, get farther away from it and not closer to it. But Dianne asked enough times where I was like, all right, I mean, okay, we can give it a try. And now it's like the main thing that we do.
Kind of wore you down because you were like, I remember at one point you were like, I kind of had wanted to do something like that, but I don't really have I don't know how to go about doing it as far as like the production part of it. And I was like, oh yeah, we've got all that stuff covered. And you were like, oh, all right. I was like, you don't have to do anything but show up and talk for an hour and that's it. And you were like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
So I wore you down. And that was 9 years ago, everybody.
I mean, that was 9 years ago. And that was, I mean, if we had to do this on our own, remember even when Tom did have all of this stuff, all 3 of us were entering into a completely unknown world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our sound was absolute shite and people would not hold back telling us.
Right.
They were like, you guys sound awful. It's so distracting. And I think that we even came to a point where we figured out that someone's microphone wasn't even plugged in.
Yeah, I think so. It was bad. Like, we didn't know what we were doing.
We had no idea what we were doing. And then, like, remember we would, like, record on Skype? Was it Skype?
Yeah. Was it Skype?
I can't remember. There was that. There was something else. I don't know. There were a few places that we recorded before we landed on Zencaster, which is what we use now, which is problematic in and of itself. But I don't think there's anything that's completely problem-free. I think this episode is going to be more than 30 minutes long.
Probably.
I don't know how you feel about that. Because in my dream, you were not happy about that.
Oh, I wasn't? Oh, my gosh.
No. You were just like, oh, my God. Get me out of here.
For those of you who didn't know, Abby lives in Chicago and I live in Rochester, New York. So we're not close to each other. And we see each other maybe once or twice a year if we do a Babies and Bumps.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Which I feel like is a motivation to do those because it's like fun. It's fun when we are able to get together.
Yeah.
And we've become like, I didn't even know you. You're asking me to do this podcast. And now you like know everything about me. Like I would be so weird if something happened in my life and I didn't tell Diane.
I know.
You know?
I know.
Like I have to text Diane.
I know it. It's weird.
And then sometimes we record on Sunday mornings at 9:00. And sometimes we don't hit record until like 9:30 because we're catching up with each other. And we're like, this would be so much easier if we lived near each other because then we could like talk at other times.
We used to do it during the week. Remember? We used to do it on Wednesdays.
Yes. We used to do it on Wednesdays. Oh my God. Exley was still breastfeeding.
Yes, he was.
I would just breastfeed but he was like a toddler. So it was never just like quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He was like on and off, crying. Remember how absolutely red-faced mad I would get? Because he'd be like in and out, be crying upstairs. And I was an absolute mess. And I was just like, I would just be like, hold on. God damn it. And like just be yelling at everybody. Tom one time was like, I'm going to because it would still be recording. Tom would cut it out. He was like, sometime I'm going to make like a little montage of all of Abby's like cursing fits. And remember he said that?
Yes. I remember you doing that because your mom used to be there.
Yes. She would come every Wednesday. By the way, she still does.
Yeah.
We just don't record on a Wednesday because the pandemic hit.
Yes. And we just did it on Sundays. I don't remember why we changed to Sundays because every day was the same during the pandemic, but we just did.
I'll tell you, because it was because of me, because my mom was there to help on Wednesdays. When the pandemic hit, she wasn't coming down anymore.
Oh,
so I didn't have anyone to watch the kids. So Sunday, Josh was not working. So then I could, be away.
Yeah.
From them. And then we just never went back.
Yeah, now it just works.
Now it's just routine, it seems like.
Yeah.
More difficult to change.
No, it would be hard to change, yeah. I mean, every once in a while we do it during the week if we need to. But
yes, if we're like somebody's busy or out of town or something.
Yeah. But otherwise. And then we started Revolution Parenting.
Oh yeah.
And we decided that we wanted to try to do Revolution Parenting. And which was going good for I don't know how many episodes we did, however, 20 or 30 episodes. Mm-hmm. And it was going well, but then we decided we just wanted to put all our efforts into the Badass Breastfeeding podcast. And so we stopped it, but now it's going strong on Patreon.
Yes.
So we just wanted somewhere for people who graduated from breastfeeding that they could still come and get information about parenting stuff. So that's kind of why we started that podcast, was to do that with it. And that was fun. I really like Revolution Parenting. Yeah. I like being able to talk about parenting stuff.
Yes. Being able to go beyond breastfeeding because that's what we all are, right? Dealing with parenting all day, every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yes. And I know that there's some people, we did one time, like a few years ago, I remember we had like a contest of who listened to every single episode. Do you remember us doing that? And there was a lot of people. Yeah, it was, I can't remember what number we were on, but we had a lot of people who were like, I've listened to every single episode. And I know that now we've had people who have like multiple children and they've just kind of come back, started with us and then come back, child after child. So it's like, I know that there's people that have been with us for a really long time, which is amazing.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. People are like, oh yeah, I had another baby and I'm still listening. That's great. Yeah. There's people that are like, oh, I just binge the show. I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
That's a lot of me talking.
I know. But and me too. Yeah. Sometimes it's too much me talking. But
I have a few emails to work in here. What if we
Oh, that's right.
Should we read some emails like in between like the kind of overview of what we're we have a few topics to cover, but we do have some emails. Now, I'll read this. I'll start with this one. This is a long time ago. I'll tell you, in 2023, I was looking for single parent stories. And I was posting on social media about being a single parent and all of this and what, just their experience with breastfeeding and all of this. And this person sent an email. And it was so moving to me that I was like, I'm just going to like save this and we'll do an episode around, this topic or whatever. And it just never happened. And I've just got this email sitting in here and I'm like, I'm just going to read it. And it starts off single mom story because that's what I was looking for. And so she starts off, she says, I want to first clarify that I'm not a single mom. I'm a widowed mom. The distinction is important because a single mom denotes choice, and we weren't given a choice. While I'll never downplay the experience of a single mom, our journey is different in nature, if that makes sense. My husband and I were newlyweds and had plans for how we would bring children into this world. I was supposedly infertile. And the greatest surprise came 5 months into marriage. He was all in the nanosecond there was that little plus sign. I definitely had my reservations, but I had this fierce regard for this little baby. I wanted to breastfeed, but I didn't really have anyone in my family, save for one of my cousins, shout out to Trisha, who breastfed. So I really took a no pressure attitude to it. After all, getting her here safely was enough pressure itself. But oh, the joy of being able to breastfeed. It's indescribable. My husband passed away unexpectedly in a car crash shortly before our little girl was born. He was such an all-in dad and would send me breastfeeding tips and tricks that he would find. Heck, he even would research techniques for everything. I mean, come on. What man does that after telling them you want to try to breastfeed? He truly was a gem of a human. Life truly sucks without him. Anyway, I am a breastfeeding mom. I didn't say anyway, she did. I'm a breastfeeding mom. Widow. I work full time. I finished my master's degree in August. My cup runneth over, Lord. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that with all of the above and more, breastfeeding is 100% the singular thing I feel that I am doing right. And you know what? I deserve this feeling. I truly feel that breastfeeding has saved the day for me. I suffer from severe depression and PTSD after the loss of my husband. My husband was a champion of mental health, and I know that being in therapy is what he would have wanted. But I'm telling you, breastfeeding is the glue keeping it all together. Totally grateful for my store-bought serotonin and my therapist. But dude, breastfeeding is awesome. Breastfeeding hasn't been an easy, straightforward journey, but it has been sacred work, and I absolutely adore this journey with my sweetest little girl. I think the hardest part for me is the desire to have an equal partner in this, someone to do the dishes, sweep the floors, be with our child while I study or take a nap, like anything. I have some help, but it's not the same as having my partner here. It's all on me, and the burden of that is not lost on me. I ache for my partner. This podcast has been a total asset to this journey, as well as my cousin Trisha, and literally sitting with my little girl and figuring it out. With all that said, with enough grit and determination, anything is possible. Where there is a will, there is a way. I'm so ecstatic to say that we are 16 months in and no end in sight. Best, Caitlin.
That's awesome. I mean, it's not like awesome, like what I mean.
I know. It's just so moving. It's such an amazing email. And I don't know. I've always held it so close to my heart that I was like, wait, this is not, I should share this. I kind of want to put it on my blog, and I would love to hear an update from her. I think I'm going to email her and be like, yeah. Oh, and there's, oh my God, there's so much more. Yeah, I'm actually going to put this I'm going to ask her to put it on the blog. And she was breastfeeding for 16 months. This was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the rest of her journey is. I'm going to ask her for an update.
That would be so cool to get an update from her.
Yeah. Should we talk about downloads?
Yes.
Downloads are like our, that's how your measure of who and how many people hear you.
Yes. And people ask me that sometimes when when we talk about, Tom likes to tell everybody that we've got a podcast. So he's like, people will ask sometimes like, oh, how many, downloads? We were actually out to dinner last night with some friends, and they asked if we still had the podcast. And I said, yes. And he was like, how many followers do you have? And I was like, I don't know how many actual followers, but I can tell you that we have 2.72 million downloads, which is a big deal. There's a lot. That's a lot of downloads. Yeah, seems like a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of downloads. That means 2.72 million times our podcast was downloaded and listened to. So that is amazing for us, because one of the main reasons why we started this podcast was to put good evidence-based information out there into the universe. And a lot of you are getting it. Yeah. You're getting it. And that is really, like, we did what we wanted to do. And that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, if you look like in the last 7 days, we've had 1,700 downloads. And you have to imagine that those are probably mostly individual people, because it's only the last week. There's only been one episode out. It's one episode per week. So in the last week, 1,700 people have downloaded. So I'd say we have about 1,700 listeners, which seems like a lot. I don't know.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
We used to do, every once in a while, we'll do episodes on 2 times a week. Yes. Depending on what's going on. We have done that throughout the years, where we've put out more than one a week. But typically it's just 1 episode a week.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. Consistency is
everything. That has been key for us, yes. Yeah. That's one thing that I think we do very well, is that we take it seriously. And we are very consistent with the schedule. And if anything changes, it's what changes is that we do another episode.
Yes. Yes. But we are the biggest breastfeeding podcast that's out there.
Yes.
So, and we worked really hard to make that happen. And of course, all of you listening helps with that too.
Yes. So. We have we were counting down our top 10 episodes of all time. And I purposely left our top 3 to be talked about on this episode because they all had something in common, which I love the absolute heathens that listen to this podcast. Because the top 3 are drinking alcohol while breastfeeding, cannabis and breastfeeding, and alcohol consumption and breastfeeding. So all y'all badasses you're really in it because, you want to know the good information. And we've got the good information on those topics. And that our number 1 downloaded episode has been downloaded over 12,000 times.
And that's the alcohol one.
That's the alcohol one. And it's just the alcohol, the misinformation out there about alcohol is just like unbelievable. When you're drunk, your baby's drunk. What?
That's like pouring alcohol right into your baby's mouth. It's so stupid.
It's insane. And, So those are the top 3 episodes. And I thought it was funny. The top 3.
It is. It's very telling.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that. So yeah, you all are badasses listening to all the right things. And we're glad that you are. But, it's one of those things where you don't want to say to your doctor, I want to go have a bunch of drinks. How is that going to impact my breastfeeding?
Yeah.
That's just not something you talk to your doctor about.
Yeah, people feel guilty about it.
Yeah. So we're glad that we have a resource for you to go to. And don't be afraid of that. And it's now you can pass that information along to people who are giving out the wrong information, and you can educate them about what the truth is when it comes to breastfeeding and alcohol or cannabis.
Yes. Let me go through a couple of these emails.
Okay.
This one is an episode suggestion. It came also in 2023, and we just never did it. I would love to hear an episode on breastfeeding after breast reduction. I had a breast reduction when I was 18 and now I'm 30. And unfortunately had a very hard time breastfeeding my son due to low supply. I'm due in February and would love to attempt to breastfeed again. And we never delivered for her, but yeah, I don't have a but. We never delivered for her. My friend Amanda, who you worked with, had a breast reduction.
Yeah, a lot of people do breastfeed.
Yeah, before her last baby. And she breastfed.
Yeah, a lot of people, you still can. I think one of the things with breast reduction is that people don't realize that they can still breastfeed. And depending on how long it's been, depending on the type of surgery it was, you might get a full milk supply or you might get a partial milk supply. But even if you get a partial milk supply, it's so worth it to still breastfeed your baby.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I hope that she went on to breastfeed with that second one. And I hope she realized that it is an amazing thing to do for your child, even if it's not full breastfeeding. Yeah. You can still combo feed and it's okay. They're still getting the milk and you're still getting that connection with them. And that's what's really important.
Yeah. And this person says, avid listener over here, I've learned so much from the two of you, and I'm grateful for the work that you do that helps breastfeeding more attainable in a society that doesn't value it as much as they should. I've breastfed 3 kids now for 4.5 years and still going strong with my 9-month-old. The reason I'm emailing you is because I recently found out I feel like there's a way to say this, the BRCA1 positive, the breast. Oh,
BRCA1
positive.
Yeah.
Which makes breast and ovarian cancer risk a lot higher than the average woman. I'm wondering if you've done a podcast episode on whether or not breastfeeding lowers breast and or ovarian cancer risk, or if you can point me towards some information about it. What I've read has been somewhat conflicting. And so we were kind of thinking that we would gather a kind of cancer stats episode at some point, and haven't, but whoops. So there's a lot of banging outside, sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
I don't, these people are bringing their little, they were just bringing a child's toy down the stairs.
Oh, jeez.
Extremely loud. Anyway, that would be interesting. I mean, that's we really have to do our own kind of assessment of all the research and stuff, which is...
Yeah.
All right. And let's see. This person says... Oh, yeah, that's right. So we were talking about how we didn't like the word sleep regression.
Oh, yeah.
One of our sleep episodes. And she said that she had a sleep trainer that she really liked, and she called them developmental progressions.
Oh, that's a good way to say it.
I thought that was a good one. Yeah. Because it sounds like a regression sounds like you're going backwards, which is absolutely not what's happening at all. No one's going backwards with babies don't. But yes, they're progressions. Even when it feels like you're, yeah. And then we were doing a full-time working and breastfeeding parent episode. We were gathering stories, and a couple of people wrote in kind of after we had already done the episode. So I thought it would be nice we can still add their input into this episode where we're putting everything in. Hey, ladies, I love what y'all do. Seriously rock. Thanks to all. I feel confident enough to reintroduce dairy and realize that I took it to an extreme way too quickly. Anyway, I wanted to share a bit about how I balance being a breastfeeding mom and working full time. So I went back to work when my son was almost 3 months old, which is really common. I exclusively breastfeed and only pumped about once a day, starting around 1 month postpartum to get a bit of a stash ready for when I go back. Due to working at a state psych hospital, I had better liberties when it came to pumping than most places. However, I had to work around a weird schedule. So for my first 3-ish months back, my schedule was different day to day, but followed mostly the same guide. So I would pump every 3 hours unless I had a work obligation that would fall at the 3-hour mark. So I would move it up to pump at the 2-hour mark. So I would not go longer than 4 hours, if that makes sense. Now that I have been back to work for almost 6 months, I have a pretty set schedule of pumping at 8:30, 11:30, and 2:30, except for Thursdays and Fridays, where I pump at 9, 12, and 3. When it comes to childcare, I've been blessed being able to have my grandmother, my son's great-grandmother, come to the house and watch him. Wow. She's been so helpful and open-minded with what it takes to bottle feed a breastfed baby, which I am so thankful for. My routine is kind of basic. I only pump when I am working or if I absolutely have to at home. For example, we had to take a bottle over the weekend because he was with his grandparents or something. Since I'm not a fan of pumping, I preserve my mental health by doing it on a need-to-do basis. When at home, I nurse on demand, and all through the night. So we do not really follow a breastfeeding schedule. And I think that's pretty typical. That's a really good schedule. And then breastfeeding on demand when you're together.
Yeah, it's perfect. She's doing amazing. Yeah. Doing a great job.
We have one more of the same topic. I went back to work February after being at home with my daughter, Matilda, for 8 months. Matilda.
Aww.
After a rocky start to breastfeeding, I'm committed to continuing to nurse Matilda for as long as I can, as long as she wants. This means I'm pumping once on the way to work and then every 2.5 hours while I'm there. I don't pump on the way home so I can nurse Matilda as soon as I get home. I'm lucky to have a supportive employer who has outfitted a lactation room and gives me the time I need to pump. I usually pump for 20 to 30 minutes. I asked for calm lighting and a sound machine to help drown out the noise. I work at a school, so students in the hallway can be loud. I noticed my letdown takes much longer with the pump, so I have a picture for my daughter printed out that I look at, which sometimes helps. I also watch videos of her and look at other photos. We tried FaceTiming, and she got very upset afterwards, so I don't think we're ready for that. Sometimes I read or listen to a podcast or just scroll on my phone. It can be a nice break, but it can feel lonely, and I get emotional at times missing my baby. My output is usually 2 to 3 ounces per pumping session. I store my milk plus the pump parts in the fridge that's designed just for breast milk. I am not washing pump parts until the end of the day. Matilda is at home during the day with my husband, who is doing an amazing job of being a stay-at-home dad. It's not the situation we thought we'd be in, but it currently works for our family. I'm grateful they have this bonding time and that Matilda is with the person I love and trust more than anyone else. I make sure to get all of the pump stuff together the night before, clean parts, empty bottles, etc. I'm still trying to figure out my wearable pump. So for now, I'm using a Medela pump in Pump and Style and use the battery pack when I pump on my drive. I've been following your page since before I was a mom and would love to talk more about my experience to help support other moms in their journey. Fabulous.
Yeah, that is fabulous.
And those are all the emails.
So one of the things that I know that we are going to talk about is some of our favorite memories.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of mine were, first of all, this 2-star review that we got.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of my favorites.
That reminds me that somebody in Patreon shared her favorite memory. But go ahead.
Yeah. So that was one of my favorites, was a 2-star review. And I wish I could remember what episode she was talking about. Do you know what episode she was talking about?
I don't remember the exact episode, but I do know that it had to do with co-sleeping.
Oh, co-sleeping.
Because it was,
that makes sense.
They were very upset about us promoting co-sleeping and how I think we were being judgmental or something, and we were, giving harmful information because co-sleeping is dangerous. This.
That's what she said. Yeah.
That's what she was saying. And the 2-star review, somewhat informational, somewhat horribly offensive, was my favorite thing I've ever heard. And I was like, that's my goal in life. Like, I am just like, I was like, I made it.
I made it. Yeah. It's amazing. It was amazing. We had t-shirts made.
Yeah. Somebody said, I feel like, wait, let me go to, because I'm pretty sure they redid the layout of Patreon, and like, I cannot figure it out.
I know. I don't like it.
Where are the notifications? I don't even know how to get to our thing. How do you get to our thing here? No, because the homepage, if you go to the homepage, it's just like, okay, wait, here we go. It's so annoying, but here. So who said, oh yeah. One of our patrons said we need t-shirts of the review, and we have t-shirts of the review, which I think that we should probably add to the giveaway.
Oh, that would be so fun.
But in Patreon, somebody contributed. Oh, I'm sorry. You finish, Diane.
My other one was, I don't even know if you remember this, was when we did the gross stories episode.
Oh, yeah. I
remember that? And people sent in their grossest stories, and they were hilarious. Hilarious.
I still have an image in my head because somebody shared a story where she like dropped a cherry on the floor or something. And she just like, without thinking, picked it up with her toes and like tossed it into her hand and ate it. I still have the image in my mind of like a cherry being picked up with a foot and then thrown into someone's mouth.
Yeah, there were some really, but I remember even like the one I remember about it was this, I don't know, this one mom that was saying her baby like had a poop or something, and she was with her brother-in-law who threw up or something like that. God. And he's like, couldn't, and you were like, come on, dude, hold it together. And it was like, people just could not, people could just not hold it together at all with these gross stories. They were so funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was like the first year that we did the podcast. It was in like, because I looked it up last night when we did it, and it was like 2018.
Oh my God.
I know. We should do that again. Any of the stories from the listeners have been so fun.
That's
we did like sex stories from the listeners, which was really fun too. But there have been so many we have had so many amazing listeners write into us and give us some really great feedback and stories and stuff, which is what keeps us going, really.
Yes. Yeah. Now we add that into like an episode. We're like, yeah, this episode could work good with like feedback from other people, and then I'll post it on social media, or we ask you guys for stories, and they're always fantastic.
They are. They're so good.
In Patreon, Megan said, I loved the nursing gymnastics episode and the photos that you got and shared. This for some reason made me think about the nursing comebacks and nursing in public episode from a long while ago. I think it was back. It was a back episode when I had my oldest, who is now 4. Maybe one worth revisiting. And she also said we're going to do that again. Review.
Oh yeah, the 2-star review too. We are planning to do another one about comebacks, because we had somebody email.
Yeah, that's right. Because we have that email. Yeah.
So that will be. Listen for that to come up in the next couple of weeks too, because we did get an email about that just recently.
Yes.
But that is always a good one, the comebacks.
Yeah, the comebacks are good. And it always really helps people to feel like they've got, like they're more prepared in case something happens, which usually doesn't happen. But it's good to feel prepared. Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, it is good to feel prepared.
Where are we? I'll share my favorite memory. One of my favorite memories was we did this baby gear baby stuff. I don't even know what it was, like weird baby stuff episode. But there was something called the Daddle Saddle. And I brought this up, Daddle Saddle, and Diane just like lost it laughing. And I don't know why. I know. Well, and the way that you were like, it's like it's like a saddle that you tie to the dad. And then the kid rides it. See? That's what you were doing.
just imagining that.
Yes. You can put your saddle on your daddle and ride him.
Because I'm picturing like a cowboy hat on his head and everything. Mm-hmm. Like it's just, oh my God, it's so funny.
What dad hasn't had a toddler on his back? But you could actually get a saddle. My husband was doing push-ups one time with Jack on his back, and he gave himself a hernia.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Oh, jeez.
My other favorite memory is kind of podcast adjacent, but I mean definitely podcast, is when we were at a Babies and Bumps, and we got to hang out with Sarah, one of our Patreon people. She was like... She lived near there, and she came and she just like hung out with us all day.
That was so nice.
And it was just so fun to like hang out with one of you. And she's so cool. I'm like, if we lived closer, I would want to hang out with her all the time. And that was just really fun.
Yeah, I really liked that too. That was really great. That was Cleveland, I think.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she lived near there. She's still in Patreon, but she's got 2 toddlers now, so.
Yeah.
Things we've learned.
I think I have learned more about sleep.
I know. We've gone real heavy into sleep.
Yes. And I think I have really learned a lot more about sleep with the help of Tracy Castles and Rebecca Meeke, and even just the breast sleeping.
Yes.
I've learned so much more about that I wish I knew when my kids were little.
Yeah. It's so fascinating. I have that written down as one of my things that I've learned too. It's just like the science behind everything, and the science behind breast sleeping, which was a term coined by, is it Dr. Sears? That seems wrong. No, he's the one who termed attachment parenting.
I don't remember.
No, it's oh my God, I cannot believe I'm blanking on this man's McKenna. Yes, James McKenna. Yeah. My absolute favorite. I'm still trying to get the guts to email him and ask him to be on the podcast.
Oh my God.
I just fucking love him. He's amazing. He's written great books. And he coined the term breast sleeping because what he said was that there is no difference between breastfeeding and sleeping. They are one. They are one thing to an infant. They are one thing. So he calls it breast sleeping because there's no such thing as like breastfeeding separate from sleeping. And like your baby sleeping at your breast is like a whole start of the imprinting process.
Right.
Oh my God. It's just so fascinating.
That's actually on our list too to do again.
Yeah.
To talk about again because it was so fascinating.
It's just,
and it's been a while since we talked about it.
And it's it doesn't help anybody really get more sleep because it is what it is with the sleep, right? I mean, like baby's awake, but it just like helps to really validate what's going on. It's like your baby's awake through the night for a reason. You're setting up your safe co-sleeping situation guilt-free because it's the way that your baby was made to sleep. You and your baby, and you just like learning about like the anthropology of it, like, the human history of it. It's just,
it's fascinating. I know. It really is fascinating.
And one of the biggest things that I learned doing this podcast was from you early on that I'd always been told that I had to use formula with Jack because I was induced. And my milk because I was induced, my milk didn't have like time to come in.
So
and
dumb.
You were like, that's like literally not how it works.
Yeah.
I was like, what? You're like, well, because you pass the placenta, which means that your body starts to make milk. And I'm like, oh, that's news to me.
Yeah. They just made some shit up.
They just made it up because that's what they do, is they're just pushing the formula because that's all they know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was like a big, big thing. And I mean, I have learned so much just about everything, researching episodes, listening to you talk about lactation. And, it's just been, I feel like a freaking expert on this stuff now. I don't walk around saying I'm an expert, but oh God, Tom. Yeah, Tom's heard them all.
Tom has heard them all. He's been here for every single episode. So he's always saying like what an expert he is.
Yeah.
He's always telling people that. Somebody actually called him. We were making a fire. So it was like 8:00 at night. And he gets this phone call from somebody that he used to work with. And she asked to talk to me actually, because she was in a tattoo shop and her cousin wanted to get a tattoo and she's breastfeeding and it was a whole deal. So Tom was like, I probably could have answered that. And I'm like, you probably could have.
Yeah. Yes.
You probably could have answered that. Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will be like, oh, are you a lactation consultant? Or somebody said, well, you're a lactation consultant. I said, I'm not a lactation consultant. So they were like, well, you're lactation consultant adjacent. And I was like, that's a really great way of like, that's so funny. Really funny. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to talk about the giveaway again for a second.
Yeah.
And so head to social media, whether Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or all three, and enter the giveaway that is there for your original Sprout Scrumptious Baby Cream and your original Sprout Hair and Body Baby Wash, your Nursing Queen $100 gift card, your Cake Maternity $100 gift card, your Similarly S7 pump, along with the collection cups, badass stickers, and empowerment cards. Your badass merch, like a shirt or a water bottle, you actually get to pick. My Leela Baby toddler carrier in Tokidoki style that I'm going to ship to the winner, along with the badass breastfeeder embroidery that I embroidered a few years ago. And we're doing this to celebrate our 500th episode. And I hope that it was fun.
It was fun for me.
It was fun for me too.
I enjoyed talking about all this stuff. And thank you all so much for being part of this and for supporting us the whole way.
Yeah, you guys are the best. You're the ones that make it fun to do. This is...
Yeah.
It's all for you.
Absolutely. It's all for you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.